Yo, what's up guys, welcome back. So YCS Japan, well actually two YCSs, you know, the first ever YCS in Japan was held past weekend over the course of a couple of days indeed. Well, there were actually two YCSs in two different cities, one YCS in Tokyo and one YCS in Osaka. It was quite popular since I'm not really sure how many participants there were at YCS Tokyo, but YCS Osaka apparently had well over 2,000 players. Again, that's quite a lot of players, right? A lot of people for the first ever YCS in Japan. All sources will be in the video description. Major shoutouts to, of course, Yugioh Edition Singapore for a lot of the pictures, by the way, and of course decklists gathered ready for duel also. But again, all the links will be in the video description. As you know, YCS Japan had like a special format, and again, I have been playing this game since the beginning, and this I think was the first time that Konami decided to hold this somewhat of a special format for like a high top tier event. As you know, YCS Japan, at least during the Swiss rounds, it's like the whole tournament, there was only at least a match consistent of one duel, so not like best out of three, quite special, since you're not really using your extra deck. So again, that's something important for a lot of decks, right? So going first are main decking your main deck answers, otherwise you might have in your extra deck. So again, that's something to keep in mind if you went into this particular event. So this means the amount of rounds for, especially I'm looking at YCS Osaka, were 7 rounds of Swiss and top 32 cuts, which wasn't that many rounds since, as you know, I mean, we had, at least this YCS Osaka had well over 2,000 people, and only at least only 7 rounds of Swiss is not that much. Same for the top 32 cuts. So apparently there were, at the end of 7 rounds, so at the end of the Swiss rounds, 16 players who went XO, so undefeated already. But anyway, as you see here, the goodies as well, very beautiful, like the sleeves, the goodies, the playmats they got for registering themselves for the event. Again, the venue seemed, for at least from the pictures here, quite beautiful. 2 different YCSs. The first one, there was of course a live stream for both events. Link will be in the video description. You can still check out the matches that were live streamed, right? So the first YCS being YCS Tokyo was won by, nothing too spectacular, was won by Tricksters. Again, it was a mirror match, by the way, so both finalists here were playing Sky Striker Tricksters. As you know, the first place list here being our main decking a lot of trap cards, the Solemn Brigade, full Solemn Brigade, the one of Trickster Reincarnation. And, but yeah, well, I mean, the Dandelion as well, since as you know, it's becoming much more important, and Dandelion is still legal in the OCG. Cherubini, and of course, Speedroid Terratop, which is currently at 2 in the OCG, so that's like an instant Burning Abyss link into Dandelion, into more shenanigans. And something quite interesting was a top 16 list Buster Blader. Again, Buster Blader and top 16 in this particular YCS, but again, it's just, you know, best of 1, right? So no side deck. That's of course something important here. But I mean, ending up top 16 in this particular YCS, that's quite cool, especially because it's Buster Blader, and as you know, Buster Blader getting those locks out, like as you see here, getting the fusion out, you know, with the synchro, getting those reborn effects during multiple turns. But thanks to your equip, your Buster Blader equip, your level 1, I believe the name is, or at least thanks to your level 1, he prevents your opponent from special summoning from the extra deck, and of course putting your opponent's monsters in defense position, negating their effects, because, you know, there are pretty much dragon, or at least they are considered being dragons on the field. So quite nifty Buster Bladers ending up top 16. For the second YCS, YCS number 2 in Osaka was held last night, yesterday, my time. It was won by Cyber Dragons. So Cyber Dragons was able to win this particular YCS, but again, the same format. As for the list, as you see here, quite of an interesting run. The card left to at least Cyber Altotem, and right to Cyber Dragon Core is Cyber Dragon Nexter. You know, the level 1, also a machine duplication target. Triple Maxi and main decking 2 copies of the the Dino Wrestler Pankratops. Triple Call by the Graven Mimic as well, but this is interesting. Triple Power Bond and triple Overload Fusion. Going Overload here on the Fusion summoning. So quite nifty. Cyber Dragons taking this huge YCS. Top 4 being Black Wings, also interesting. Something different than Sky Striker, you know, the usual Sky Striker. And other Link stuff, right? But again, Black Wings ending up top 4, and this was also an interesting run, being the Gandora FTK Link shenanigans. There was also, like you see here, a feature match featuring this particular deck. Very interesting. I highly recommend watching that one-off game, right? But I mean, this particular player, like the Gandora player, played around hand traps, around the back row really well, as you see here again, by, you know, going for those Exceed plays, sending your Eclipse Wyvern to the graveyard, searching Gandora, I believe, and eventually, well, you know, using your Crusadia Link monsters to eventually seal the deal. So again, I highly recommend watching this one-off feature match from this. Again, link will be in the video description. Top 8, last but not least, was Sky Strikers, one Sky Striker list again, but nothing too spectacular. So first ever YCS in Japan. Keep in mind, special format only being like a one-off game, one-off duel, and that already set up their, you know, their rounds. So very quickly overview, or at least a very quick overview of past YCS in Japan. Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching, and feel free to leave a comment or like if you enjoyed the video. Lithium signing out. Peace.